the Trump administration has decided that they are splitting ways with the ADL. The ADL has been under a lot of scrutiny for essentially them having like a list of like glossary terms and organizations and people that they label as right wing. So they've been partnering with the FBI, I think it says since 1940. So about what is that, 85 years now. They've been partnering with the FBI for about 85 years, building a database and sharing that with the FBI for groups that they say are extremists, that they say are violent, that they say are anti-Semitic. And it's been found out by people that are on the conservative side, on the right-wing side, not necessarily the far right, just the right wing, that TPUSA was on that list, in that glossary of groups that are far right, according to the ADL. Now, what's the issue with that? Obviously, Charlie Kirk was the head of TPUSA. It was his organization, and he recently passed. So everybody and their mom is sensitive to the fact that Charlie is gone, that he was assassinated, and that obviously they're not trying to label his organization as right wing, as far right. It is right wing. It's not far right. So the ADL is under fire for that. Now let's get into this article that's over on Axios so we can talk about this a bit more. And I can tell you what the problem I think of all of this is. So it says the FBI split with the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, this week is the latest evidence that the Trump administration is moving away from targeting hate groups in favor of investigating what it deems left-wing violence, scholars told Axios. Obviously, we know that when Charlie Kirk passed away, the gentleman that allegedly shot him, his name's Tyler Robinson, he was immediately labeled as a right-wing person, right? They're like, oh, well, he's in, I believe it was Utah Valley University. They were like, oh, he's in Utah. He's, there's a lot of Mormons out there. He must be right wing. And then we found out that his family is MAGA, but they said over the past year, he's been kind of exhibiting left wing ideology. So the Trump administration, they're in a rush to label anything that happens, including the at the church that happened about maybe 6 weeks ago, this gentleman, Tyler Robinson, and any other like mass or violence, political violence. They want to label those people as left wing. So this article is alleging the Trump administration is not too concerned about right-wing groups in the first place. So for the ADL to be quote unquote targeting TPUSA and other right-wing things, the Trump administration is like, yo, this is a bad look on the spotlight that we're trying to put onto the left. You guys are putting a spin on this and pointing the light to the right wing when we're saying it's the left wing that has all of this violence. So we're going to continue, and then I'm going to tell you what the issue with all of this is. It says why it matters. The ADL had since 1940 worked with law enforcement to combat extremism and anti-Semitism, which the Trump administration has maintained is still a priority, even though they're not going to be partnering with the ADL in terms of collecting that data on the increased number of anti-Semitic and extremist events. They're saying, hey, it's still a priority for us. It's just we're only concerned about the left wing, and you guys are reporting about stuff that's happening on the right wing. So it doesn't really play into our narrative. Scholars said that under President Trump, the FBI is less interested in right-wing domestic. Apparently, this is being thrown away for partisan political reasons. That can only be a bad thing in the long run. Yeah, 100%. So we're not going to go over the entire article, but the ADL does say that since about 2015 till now, 2016 till 2025, somewhere around there, that they've been seeing an increase in these incidents that are anti-Semitic or extremist towards Jewish people have been doubling, right? I believe it said it was somewhere like 11,000 incidents in 2024. So obviously they have, some negative sentiment going on with the war in Gaza. So they're already, a lot of people that are crazy are blaming that on all Jews across the spectrum, including Jewish Americans that have nothing to do with what's going on over in Israel, other than the fact that they're Jewish as well. And the ADL saying they see an increase in a type of negative stereotypes toward Jewish people. And now the Trump administration is saying, hey, we don't even want that data. What's interesting to me is the type of groups that typically aim their vitriol towards Jews, as well as Black people, as well as LGBT, as well as women. These are far-right groups. If you type in YouTube, white nationalist groups, a lot of these guys, and I watch plenty of these videos. I watch the videos all the time. For whatever reason, they're interesting. But you'll see that these groups, they target black people. They target Jews and say it's like some secret cabal of Jews that control the world and everything that happens bad in their life. They always say it's Jews, it's black people, it's women, it's the LGBT. And there's some sort of like conspiracy against them specifically, why they can't get ahead or why their life sucks or the US is being taken over. So these things happen from the right. And it's counterproductive to the Trump administration to have these things tracked when he's saying, yo, look at the left wing, look at what it is they're doing. And if we're being completely honest, no group, whether it's the left or the right, is absent of violence. These things happen. Like, we know these things to happen, whether it's the left and the Tyler Robinson thing, if he does turn out alleged, if he does turn out to be someone that is quote unquote of the left, as people in politics like to say, or, you know, it's somebody that's on the right. Like, we have a long history of both sides doing things that are extreme. But the Trump administration, according to this article, is not necessarily looking into things that the right is doing. Because what did Trump say back in 2017 when those guys were over in Charlotte doing a march, saying that they're being replaced, saying they need to repopulate the white race? I know you guys remember that Charlotte protest. Trump said there's very good people on both sides. The white nationalists that were marching over in Charlottesville, Virginia, he said they were good people as well as the opposition. I don't see how that could be the case unless you align with people that are white nationalists and then you're saying, hey, they don't look that bad to me, right? Like, David Duke don't look that bad to me if you're a KKK member. The FBI is not going to be interested in investigating those groups, getting those people arrested, and making sure that Jewish Americans are safe. So the Trump administration, as much as they say, oh, we're going to send all of these letters to these institutions that have an increase in anti-Semitic rhetoric or anti-Semitic behavior, they don't seem to be all that interested, because the people that are doing that type of stuff, historically, the numbers show it's usually right-wing groups. That's not to say that people on the left wing can't be anti-Semitic. They can't do things that are targeted towards the Jewish people. But when you look at the number of incidents, or you look at the number of videos where these people are blatantly saying, hey, it's Jews, it's the people that are causing problems in my life, it's usually like white nationalists, right? Now, TPUSA, let me go back for a second. TPUSA was not one of those groups, as far as I know. But they are on the right. There are people that are Christians that align with TPUSA, and there are people that are Christians that align with that, like that far right ideology, right? So that's part of the reason why they were on that list, that glossary from the ADL, but they weren't specifically on there because like Charlie Kirk was anti-Semitic or something like that. He was actually very much the opposite. And that's evident in the letter that he sent to Benjamin Netanyahu, telling him how to curry favor with the US population. And one of those things was, hey, boost your social media presence. And we saw what Benjamin Netanyahu did with that. He took it and ran with it, started meeting with a bunch of influencers. So you guys can let me know what you think. The FBI is no longer interested in partnering with the ADL, it seems, in order to track right-wing extremists. According to Axios, they're only looking for left-wing extremists, and having that data from the ADL that's going to show where these incidents are coming from doesn't necessarily help, especially when they're putting groups on there like TPUSA, the America First group. Regardless of if they should or shouldn't be on there, it doesn't seem that the FBI is interested in it.